It's been a while, guys. I know it has been so long, and I'm so sorry. And I know this is not how we normally do this, but I felt like this would be a great way for us to catch up. I told you guys that I would be really good about trying to put out a vlog every week or every other week, and this month has just not been very good for me, honestly, as far as putting out vlogs. We have been all over the place. I have so much to catch you up on. We went to London. We went there because Connor and his sister bought their dad NFL tickets to the Jets game, and so they asked me to tag along, and you guys know that I cannot pass up a trip to London. It's one of my favorite cities in the world, so we hopped over to London for a little bit, and then we came back, and then we immediately had friends of Connor's come in and stay with us for a few days. And so I have just been backlogged, to be quite honest. I have been so busy and trying to be present, and I have just not been really good about picking up the camera. But I do my best to keep you guys updated on a daily basis on TikTok. So that's where a lot of the footage for today's vlog is going to come in, because I want to keep you guys updated as much as possible. When I was with Connor's family, I wanted to concentrate so much on being in the moment and being present and respecting the fact that I was a guest on their trip. And so now I want to sit down and get into it with you guys and talk all about the past few weeks of my life. And let's catch back up to present day, because I've missed you guys and I want to talk. But the best way that I know how to keep up with this is to go back through my camera log and start from the very beginning. So let's take it from the top. So one thing you have to know about me when I travel with my boyfriend: the minute my feet step out of the car at an airport, my brain also shuts off. I do not think of a single thing. I don't know what's going on. I barely even know my own name. I don't know what airline we're on. I don't know what time our flight is. I don't know what terminal we're on. The only thing that I'm in charge of is making sure that I just get on the plane. Most of the time, I like to get to airports like right before they take off. But for international flights, Connor likes to get there a couple hours before, so we're not rushing around. So we actually started out the trip by getting margaritas at Bahama Bar, I think it was. Those margaritas set the tone for the rest of the trip, because tell me why I was buzzed before 5 p.m. on a school night. We actually got to London first, me and Connor did. We typically fly Virgin over there, always so good. I have never had a bad experience on their airline. The only thing with this specific flight, something about the air conditioning was not working, because I was burning up the entire time I was on the flight. I mean, I also tried to do my skincare. I had to take like laps around the plane to cool down. And at one point I asked the flight attendant, because one thing about me, I might be dying, but I do not want to complain while someone else is waiting on me. Like at a restaurant, you're not going to catch me complaining. On an airplane, I'm not going to complain. Like I just am not that person, because I've been the person that has waited on people that complain, and it is miserable. Those type of people are just fighting for their lives to get through their shift, and the last thing I want to do is make it worse. But you guys, when I say I was sweating in places that should not be sweated in, I was that hot. And so Connor even freaked out, thinking I was having like a panic attack. And so we asked the flight attendant, they turned it down. We took a little siesta when we got there, and then Connor's sister showed up. We stayed in... Where did we stay at? Exactly, I don't know, because that's not my job. That is always Connor's job for any trip, is to coordinate where we're staying and how long we're going to be there. Oh, we stayed in Chelsea. And we walked to this place, I think called Bluebird or something, like Blue Jays, I'm not sure. But then there was this place right next to it. And if you're ever in Chelsea, I would highly recommend going to see this like furniture art studio right next to that restaurant, because there's this huge spaceship inside that you sat inside it, and it was so cool. And we just kind of like walked around the gallery for a little bit. And then my leg started hurting, and I had to like sit down multiple times, because you guys, my leg has been like on fire lately. No matter how long or what I'm doing, my leg typically like catches on fire, and I feel like I cannot move. It's become so painful lately that Connor has gotten to the point where he's like, I'm tired of hearing you complain. We need to go see a doctor. But I'm so scared to know what's going on. But I have been just like delaying it because I'm too scared to know. I think it's like trauma from my dad being sick growing up. But nonetheless, she will persevere. So Connor's parents got in later that night. And one thing that me, Casey, and Connor did before they got there was we went to this really cool bar called Mr. Fogg's. If you are ever in London, you have to go there because I got the coolest drink. And you know how people are like, I don't like attention? Yeah, I'm the same way, except this is what I ordered. Yes, that is a golden camel. It was the most elaborate drink you could possibly think of until Connor's drink got brought out, and his came in a golden hot air balloon. And it had smoke and it looked so cool. But the last thing that we did of the first day was arguably my favorite meal that we had the entire trip, and that was Din Tai Fung. I had never heard of that before, and if I'm mispronouncing it, please do not come for me. But it was the best food I've ever had in my life. I still think about those dumplings, and we had all been traveling. It was like 8 or 9 p.m. at night, and me, Connor, and Casey sat there and devoured that food in complete silence. We did not talk one time other than to order more food. And then we ended up getting like the chocolate dumplings. Do yourself a favor and go get it because, oh my God, guys, I think I weighed 432 pounds after that experience. Oh! I hate birds. Morning, guys. We are having cinnamon rolls at Buns from Home. I got the original and they got like a cheesecake. Is that cheesecake you said? Cheesecake something. Mine was really good. It wasn't like hot because I don't like hot pastries. And then we're gonna go look at some shops around Notting Hill, Portobello Street. And then we are going on a cruise later. No, not a cruise. Not the cruising. We're going on a tour later.
So you like the lighter ones?
The dark ones. What are these things?
Everybody comes to see right here.
The next day we woke up and went to one of my favorite places in London, which is Notting Hill, and we had some of the best cinnamon rolls I've ever had in my life. Again, Connor comes up with the best itineraries for trips, and I am just spoiled and I just get to enjoy them. I got to pick out one restaurant. Connor always gives me like a couple of things that I get to pick out on our trips because, again, he's in control of the itinerary. He puts it in a shared notes app, and then the day before we leave on the trip, when I'm trying to pack, is when he shares it. And he always says this one thing when he shares it: no touching. I am not allowed to edit it. I am not allowed to ask questions because I'm not putting forth the effort to put it together. I do not get to edit it or ask questions, but I always get to put in TikTok recommendations. And I found this place. And if you are ever in London, I highly recommend going. Not necessarily for the food, because the food was like, I would say, an 8 out of 10, but the aesthetic of this restaurant. Some of my friends said it was giving like Cheesecake Factory, but to me, it was giving Percy Jackson and the Lightning Thief, but luxury, because when I was growing up, I loved Greek mythology. Anything about it. I actually took it in college. And so this restaurant with the statues and Medusa hanging from the ceiling, but all the drinks are named after like different gods and goddesses of Greek mythology. You know, one thing about me, and I think this should be a universal thing, is that if I'm in a nice restaurant, I'm going to go to the bathroom. Not because I might have to go to the bathroom, but because I want to see if the aesthetic in the bathroom is good. Because the best thing about nice restaurants is the amount of detail that goes into the bathrooms. And let me tell you, this place did not disappoint. And then we got on what I think was probably, I would say, consensus, everyone's favorite thing of the trip. Is because early in vacations on places that people haven't been to, like Connor's family hadn't been to London before, I typically always say that you want to get like the touristy stuff out of the way because you want to know what you're actually looking at. Like you don't want to be walking past some historical building and not know what it is. So I always recommend doing some type of tour bus or tour thing. And you guys, we found the coolest way to see London. Easily the bougiest way, probably too, but I'm telling you, write this shit down because you're gonna want to do it the next time you go. It's called the Le Grand Tour Bus, and I know I'm probably saying that incorrectly. Excuse my Mississippi accent, but it was so cool. It was this double-decker bus where they serve you tea and little small treats, and they give you a free glass of champagne, so you know I was all up in that. And honestly, I think I laughed pretty much for the first 20 minutes of the ride just because it was so funny watching all of us in our own little individual chairs with our champagne, our sunglasses on, looking out over the city. Like, it was just so funny to me because family functions, like, I didn't really have a lot of family functions growing up. My family just like didn't do it. We didn't have the money. And to see Connor's family, their version of it is like doing it all together but all having their own little separate quiet moments, is exactly how I want a vacation for the rest of my life because it was so nice. I 10 for 10 recommend that experience. It takes you all around London, shows you all the cool things. It's really automated. You can take the headphones on and off if you want to. Look at these pictures of me with these little headphones. You can't tell me I don't look like me at Thermopolis of Genovia. Like, Anne Hathaway who? All right, fast forward to the next day. I did my first ever Uber boat. I did not even know that was a thing. I did not know that Uber had boats. We literally got on at this little, I guess, port is what you would call it, or a little bus station that's on the water. And it took us down the river. I'm not even going to try to pronounce the river because I know I'll pronounce it wrong. And then it took us all the way where we had lunch. We had lunch at this really, really pretty place. Connor, I'm telling you, if you need a trip planned, ask my boyfriend because he will find all the best food, all the best places to go because this place was immaculate. I had a dirty martini at lunch. Yes, it was a ladies' lunch moment. Then Casey and I were begging Connor to find us a pub to go to. And we didn't want to go to like a super, super nice pub. We wanted to go to like an authentic London British grunge pub because we just wanted to relax, have a beer. So we went to this place called The Crown. And can we all take a moment? I appreciate my anniversary gift that Connor got me. Like, this bag right here is the nicest thing someone's ever gotten me as a personal gift. I have been talking about this bag probably for 6 months now, and I don't know why I never got it for myself. And I think it was probably because like I was insecure or I cared what other people thought. But Connor, after I kept talking about it, he actually surprised me for our anniversary gift at the beginning of the month with it. And I was asking him like, what made you get that? Because you know that like I've wanted it for a while, but like I was kind of probably insecure about what people would say. He was like, you've talked about it for forever. It looks really nice on you. And let me tell you, that is what all men should say to you when you're anxious about something, because Connor always settles any anxiety that I have. He reassures me about my choices, about my instincts. And he was right, because look at how good I look with this bag. Like, I literally carried so much stuff in that bag at all times. I just wish I would have picked up my camera that was inside that bag a little bit more. What do you have to say for yourself?
I'm moving here.
Yeah. Hey guys, I am so sorry that I have been literally the worst vlogger on this trip. I have not picked up my camera near as much as I thought I would. I've really been trying to be present with Connor's family and just enjoying the time with his parents and sister. So I really have not picked up my camera because I have just been enjoying myself too much. But I'll talk to you later because Connor's looking at me like I need to get up and start moving. What'd you think, Casey?
I was scared.
You were scared. What'd you think?
I'm almost claustrophobic.
Yeah, I was too. I didn't like those stairs.
It's too claustrophobic.
We were going to see the London Bridge, but we actually did this instead because the bridge gets so packed. And we actually went to where they have the London, like the royal family's crown jewels. And y'all, I wish they allowed cameras in there. These jewels were absolutely insane. But let me tell you like a super funny story about that, because we got done with the whole tour and Miss Penny, Connor's mom, loves the finer things in lives. She is a queen through and through. Mr. Kevin told us, typically she doesn't like, touristy stuff. She doesn't really like tour buses. But Miss Penny loved this exhibit. She was in there with Mr. Kevin for way longer than me and Connor were, because she just was having so much fun. She really appreciated the jewelry, and she was just so happy afterwards. So it was really cool, I think, for me and Connor and Casey to like appreciate that they were doing so much for us on this trip by one, allowing me to come, but two, paying for food and drinks and everything. But just to see Miss Penny like really enjoy herself on this trip, it made me so thankful to even be a part of it. But we were sitting out there waiting on her to get done with the tour, and my leg was hurting, so I had to sit down. This little lady comes up to sit next to me, and she was so sweet. And I was like, yeah, you can sit next to me. She was like, yeah, my leg hurts. I actually was getting to talking to her about my leg. And I said, so what did you think about the exhibit? And she goes, not very impressive. I was like, wait, what? She goes, I've seen bigger. And I was like, who is this diva? I looked down at her hands, guys, and there is a diamond on her hand the size of my fist. And she was like, yeah, my family's been here before, and they used to have better jewels. I don't know what happened to all the good ones. And I'm like, what? Excuse me, what? Later in the day, we went to Borough Market. You have to get the strawberries because they are viral for a reason. The line moves super fast. I will say that if you're going to go to Borough Market, go earlier in the day and try to go during the middle of the week, because I don't like crowds. I'm not a very big crowd person. The only crowd I ever want to be in again is at a Taylor Swift concert. And so the next day was the NFL football game. And you're probably thinking, oh my God, Parker, you went to a football game? No, I didn't. I took his mom to Harrods. Are you excited?
Oh my God, this is unbelievable.
I could cry. I think that was the best part about this trip for me, is just getting to spend some more time with Connor's family, because, his family's from New Jersey. His family comes down to Florida ever so often, so we don't really get to see them as much. Connor's really good about, spending time with his family. He goes home, every month or two to see them. Where I grew up, me and my family were close, but we weren't like the ideal, like Southern family that was like. Dating Connor has really just made me want to be closer to my family and has encouraged me to be closer to my family. Because I think for so long, when I was trying to come out or realizing that, I was gay in Mississippi, I was trying so hard to protect myself and other people. I thought I was protecting other people by just, closing myself off and just being in my own little bubble. And I wouldn't say that that's like a regret of mine, because I don't really regret anything about what I've done in my life. But I will say it's something that I wish I would not have done. I wish I would have been closer to my sisters and my mom at a lot younger age. And now being with Connor, he just like encourages me to spend more time with my family, and it makes me want to so much. And this trip just reinforced that a lot for me, because I don't see my family as much. But this trip to London was just so special to me, and I know it was very special to Connor. Getting to spend some one-on-one time with his family. And I know this isn't how we typically do vlogs here, and I wish I could have been more in real time with you guys, but I really wanted to be very appreciative of Mr. Kevin and Miss Penny of allowing me to come on their family trip and just, taking care of us as well as they do. So I just can't thank them enough, and I am so excited because I Me and Connor have already started throwing around the idea of maybe getting a flat in London because you guys, London really does have my heart. For now, I wanted to give you this. I wanted to touch base with you, and I hope to talk to you soon. And let me know what you think. And if you enjoyed it, subscribe. Bye, guys.